or he's on a con call with Sandhya.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
You see, he got into the meeting room where people wanted to meet him. So.
Okay, of course. Of course. I mean, you know,
the attendees.
There's no ordinary personality there.
That's right. So I was telling him, no, you have got to be in another room, you know.
Yeah, so we need to have a VIP waiting area.
Yeah, true. He did. He went to the network lounge.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was there.
That's so sweet. That's so wonderful.
He always wants to connect with his fans.
Really? But that's, I mean, you know, that's what somebody was saying in the last session, that we haven't been able to really explore this platform to its potentiality. You know, there's a waiting room, there's a lounge. So this is a message to everyone out there who's tuned in, that feel free to, you know, navigate and explore and meet people. This is our new reality, right? This is our new way of being.
It's the future, I think. You know,
absolutely.
It's a little window to the future which we have thanks to these crazy times. You know, that's the little perk we are getting from it.
Absolutely. You know, just there is. I feel so very excited and almost tickled by this idea of like meeting and greeting and really have this, you know, visceral experience of meeting people. But it's digital. It's right from the comfort of our homes. Right. I think it's miraculous.
Right. It is. And it's just like what you do in a normal conference. You go, you connect, and you talk business, and then you make new contacts. And that's all happening from the comfort of our
you know,
home.
just we go,
it's like magic, actually.
Yeah, because we're doing everything to go. You make the preparation, you know, you do all the back and forward work, except then you only use, you know, we're only using the cyber airways to travel.
Right.
So it's
right.
You know, in celebration and awe of technology.
Yeah, it is. How have you been, Mansi, and where are you? Where in the world are you?
Yeah,
very much exactly. In Delhi.
Yes, in Delhi. You know, and it's been beautiful. It's been a remarkable 5 months of you know, just a lot of reassessing, readapting, reclaiming.
That's the theme of the conference, my dear. Reconnect.
Absolutely.
Reboot. Reset. That's right. And don't forget recycle and renew. All those we've already done.
Absolutely. Like, it was very interesting. You know, Lisa Ray in a session, I don't know if you tuned into that or you were in another session. I know you've been busy today.
I can't see. They're having some, is he there in the waiting room? Can you check, Mansi? If he's there, does he show up?
No, I don't see him yet.
Okay. No, not yet. He could hear us talking, he says.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So, one
so maybe he's put on the video. Okay. Yeah. Just check, dear.
Yeah.
Take a look. We are, oh, I forgot to put on that light. 1 minute. I need to put on one more light. It's coming on, I think. Is it? Yeah, I was trying to tell him that. Yeah, you just have to click on the join the Zoom.
So are you not getting the Zoom which shows up? Zoom
no, I'm not getting. There's a cross on it.
We lost him in cyberspace.
Mansi is in the waiting room, I hope.
No, he's not in the waiting room.
No, but are we, both of us?
No, we're live.
We are live? Oh my God. Okay, so let's talk about Anupam's movies then, because this is about him.
Absolutely.
Which was the first one that you saw?
The first film that I saw of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Saransh was his first movie, you know.
no, not Saransh is not the first one I saw, but I think, I mean, there's been so many films, but it's just, it becomes less about the film
Yeah.
and more about him.
About him. That's right.
Yeah, which
You
is,
know, I've had the pleasure of being in 4 cities with him. Right
wow.
from yes, in Lucknow when I was doing my postgrad. Then he was there, very very young Anupam, and then in Bombay,
Yeah.
and where he would shoot and then come to our place. Of course, Srinagar, from where we both
So you all
came
go
from.
back a long way.
Yes. Oh yeah, and then Simla when my father was posted there. And my father was directing a play for the army. My father was
Yeah.
in army ops in the army club. He was directing a play, and Anupam got a role by default, and that was it. I think his one
Okay.
of his first breaks on stage. We were little kids at that time, and he had a role
Wow.
which was a very nondescript role of a little servant in the house, and the whole play was like
Okay.
a murder mystery, and he was just a little role of a servant, and somebody else was doing that role. But then at the last minute, that person fell sick, and
Oh,
Anupam, a very young Anupam, was brought in, and I remember he just changed the whole role. And
wow.
yes, with his get up, like he put a little black on his teeth and his
Oh,
expressions and all the comedy. And that servant became the life of the play.
wow.
I
Not
remember I
surprised.
was like,
And this,
yeah, he
you're saying
hadn't gone
when
into
he was
films.
really young.
No, he was into theater for a long time. And
Yes.
then in Lucknow too, when I was there, he was in the theater. And it was only later that he went and threatened Mahesh Bhatt for that role, the Saransh
Yeah,
role,
exactly.
where he had to be an old man, and it was such a touching and a moving performance, and he
Oh,
got
it just, yeah.
the award for it, the national award for that. And after that, there's just no looking back. So he's been in over 500 movies.
Yeah, that's what I was just reading.
That's right. That's right. A
500
lot of them
films.
international. In fact, right now he's on a NBC series, a TV series, Netflix. I mean, he's all over the place, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
That's why, you know, one feels so very blessed to have him with us.
yeah, true,
You know,
true.
he's not the easiest person to be in a one-on-one conversation. So we're so lucky at the league here to, you know, that you've been kind enough to
Oh, no,
hold his hand into cyberspace of the digital web.
no, he's an old friend and a family friend. So he was very happy to be there. And also whenever he comes to Bangalore, I don't know if you've seen his play. It's called Kuch Bhi Ho Sakta Hai. You know,
No.
anything can happen in life.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's based on his own life. And
Wow.
yes, he's written about all the mistakes that he made and all the
Ah.
failures which taught him so much.
Wow.
And that's how he progressed. He's a fantastic human being, actually.
Is that something that is borrowed from his autobiography as well? The play, it's based on his autobiography, possibly.
Yes, the autobiography came later. That came later.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And he's also, got the Dalai Lama Award because
That's
he's
right.
got this fund that is the Anupam Kher Foundation. Yes,
Yeah,
where he takes care of the underprivileged children.
that's right.
So, and if you're on his Facebook page, you will see very little intimate peeks into his life, his mom, and the little kids he's friends with on the street, and the little gifts that he gives them, and the national family life at home. It's really beautiful.
Beautiful,
You're
like
part
really,
of your family. If you just
no
go
holds
on his
barred.
page,
He's
everybody knows his mom's name is Dulari, and and it's always like Dulari rocks. And I want to tell you actually that just a few days ago, I think about a week back, we got the news that 3 people from his family, very close members of his family, including his mom, was found COVID positive, and they were in the hospital.
Right.
And I was telling him that, will we still be able to do this? And he was just there. He said he's made the commitment. He will come. And then he even put up the videos where his mom is back now. And everybody's safe, everybody's fine. Hi Anupam, you are there.
Welcome.
आप तो जानते हैं कुछ भी हो सकता है, but you are muted, my friend. You will have to unmute yourself. We'll have to tell him to unmute. We can't hear you. I think.
Yes.
Yes.
Now we can.
Yes. Yes. Mansi, please start.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, someone very, very, very special that we deeply love as a nation, as a world, we admire, we're constantly inspired by. Amidst us is the one and only inimitable, the award-winning international actor with a career of 35 years in Indian cinema, 500 films in his kitty, 100 plays, recipient of the Padma Shri Award and the Padma Bhushan Award for his distinguished service of the higher order in art, an author with 2 books that he's penned who've been translated into 6 languages, and in its 20th edition, a motivational speaker and listed as one of the top 10 social media influencers in the world, awarded the Dalai Lama Award for his work for underprivileged children, and the UN ambassador for the He for She campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, an absolute honor, privilege, and a moment in time to welcome the one and only Anupam Kher. Please put your hearts together. Oh, we lost him. That was like magic.
Trick again.
He's also a magician.
No, he's very much there. Okay, yes.
Anupam, can you hear us? It's mute. It's mute.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Getting used to this virtual life.
I went through grief, and your team went through trauma.
No.
Oh, but we're at last together here. So thank you so much for taking the trouble.
I'm going to talk with them and find out कि वो ज़्यादा explanation इसलिए तो नहीं कर रहे थे because you were directly on the line with them. ये पूछना पड़ेगा.
बिल्कुल. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Suchitra. How wonderful.
Yes, lovely. Mansi, should I take over?
Please, Suchitra, absolutely over to you for this beautiful conversation, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm Dr. Suchitra Kaul Misra at the Women Economic Forum, and we are thrilled to have with us the charismatic, the international actor, one of the most prolific in Bollywood, and who has worked with the best in Hollywood. Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, Anupam Kherji. A warm welcome to WEF Bengaluru 2020. But we are 2 Kashmiris meeting on a global stage. So I have to begin with Varechu.
Varechu, Toshu Vare.
Yes, for the benefit of our international audience, let me tell you that in our greeting in Kashmiri, we don't say, how are you? We say, we presume you're already well. And we say, you're well, aren't you? So that's an uncanny thing and very unique to Kashmir.
Yes.
Anupam, you've done a mind-boggling variety of body of work, over 500 films and 100 plays, super hit TV shows which are going on right now. You're a best-selling author, an Ivy League motivational speaker for the privileged and for the underprivileged, a philanthropist. So I'm curious to know, how on earth do you get so much work done? You must be having a very special philosophy of work. So do share that, and also how it has shaped you.
So first of all, Sujitra, I grew up in a joint family. I grew up with my grandparents, and my grandfather used to say, a busy man has time for everything.
Yes.
For a long time, I did not understand what he meant. But then as I started working and I could do, I get embarrassed by this so much of introduction that I've done. I think I've just begun. It's just the interval point of my life. I think if you don't take yourself seriously, then you can do a lot of things. And if you don't have a fear of failure, because long time back, my father said that failure is an event, never a person.
Mhm.
Then you can keep on doing it, because you're not, I'm not a perfectionist. Means I certainly want to do my roles to best of my ability, but it's okay. Means it's 80% life is monotony and 20% excitement. Means we ate staple food, and once in a week we get to eat something special. So the basic thing is not to take yourself seriously, because according to me, a person who takes himself seriously or herself seriously is the most comical person. I'm happy to be who I am, so I don't need to pretend. And life is a journey, never a destination. So it's the if you can keep on doing, and also because for 3 years before I got into my first film, Saransh, I have struggled so much on the streets of Mumbai, homeless, almost homeless, slept on the railway platform, that I told God, whatever, whenever I get work, I will never stop working. And because I don't have fear of failure, it does not sort of bother me. Can you imagine if I had done only Saransh type of movies, then you would have not introduced me as an international actor with so many things. And you need to sort of move on. You need to keep on doing things. You need to keep on, some things fail and something you succeed in. If you have that philosophy, then I think, and I'm an eternal optimist.
Yes.
So if I don't have a fear of failure and an eternal optimist, it's a lethal combination. No power can stop me. So I
True.
think that's what it is. Yeah.
It's wonderful. You've got to love what you do to be who you are.
Yeah.
But your love for acting doesn't stop with you. You want to keep refining it for others. Deepika Padukone, Hrithik Roshan, Abhishek Bachchan, they've all been your students. So what made you start an acting school?
So I'm a drama school product. I'm from the National School of Drama. When I came to Mumbai and when I started getting work, I met a lot of newcomers, and in at least in now in 2010 onwards, people are supposed to be trained actors, etc., etc. But at that time, hairstyle was much more important than your knowledge of acting, and I had none. This is a very, very dignified bald look. Means when you are losing hair, I was very thin when I came to Mumbai on the 3rd of June 1981. I used to crack a joke that I'm so thin that I could see through a keyhole with both my eyes. So balding, oddly thin, and then trying to look for movies in India, in Mumbai, was the most difficult thing. People used to laugh that you cannot get work. And I used to see these newcomers working with me as an actor, and I used to feel that the fact that they should be loving what they are doing, they're petrified of that. They used to twitch, nervous twitches. They used to have beautiful people. And then I discovered that they're not trained actors. And the training gives you confidence. It gives you a platform. Either you are from theater or stage, or I did a play with your father long time back.
Yes, I was talking about that only.
Yeah,
I think Baraf Ki
yes.
Minar it was.
Baraf Ki Minar, yes,
Yeah,
of
and my
course.
brother
Yes.
and I can never forget how you changed, and you made nothing else we remember about that play but you. We
Yes.
used to wait for you to come on the stage.
Because so training did help me. So that's why in 2005 I decided to open an acting school, and it's such a gratifying thing to meet my students now sometime when I'm working and they come to me, that sir, I'm from 2009 batch, or I'm from 2013 batch, and this is the best investment I have done. If I'm known as a teacher rather than an actor, I will be very, very thrilled about it.
That's right. And you've developed so many acting styles, everything is like been there, done that. But at this point, do you still have a dream role?
Oh, you can ask me this question now when I'm after 30 years. This is too early. This is too early to
Right.
ask me this question. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. With that,
Okay, let me put it another way. Humans ka itna kar liya. If you had to be an animal, which one would you want to be?
I'm fond of dogs. Means
Oh,
I think
okay.
they're very therapeutic. Means I'm sure other animals are also, but dogs are very, very reciprocative. They immediately reciprocate your love. We had a dog when I was in Shimla, and we had a dog when I was in Bombay working. I had picked him up on the street once I was coming back from a shoot, and there was a tiny little dog on the road, main road, and it was pouring. So I got off my car and I picked up that doggy and kept it on the side. And then after 1 kilometer moving on, I felt that maybe he will come back again. And so I picked him up, brought to my office. My office has a garden, and then he stayed with us for 14 years. It was just a street dog. His name was Chersey, because he went off to sleep while talking to me. So I would love to be a lovely Labrador or something like that if I have to be.
Yes, they are the best. Well, these are quite bizarre times that we are in. We never thought that we'll see this. And there's so much on social media, but you've always been very, very active on social media. In fact, you've been listed as one of the top 10 social media influencers in the world. But as a mega star, how do you balance the perks and the risks being so active on social media?
So everything is a learning process. I think meeting everybody, talking to you right now, or getting those people, technical people, getting it's a learning process. If you keep your eyes and ears open, then everything that you indulge in, whether it's social media, whether it is meeting people on the streets, anything is a learning process. Then you get interested in it. I think social media is a great learning platform. Means how many people, if you follow or you don't follow, you get to learn. Now everything has its plus sides and minus sides. I ignore minus sides. Yes, of course there are trolls and there is negativity, but it doesn't bother me. As I said, that I've come from a past, from a place where we have seen poverty, we've seen situation, but we have also been. Once I asked my grandfather, I said, Dadaji, we are very poor. Why are we happy? These are the things. So he said, Beta, when you are very poor, the cheapest luxury is happiness.
Oh, wonderful.
So I think these are the things which stay. So social media is a great platform, great medium to learn things. Means today you are having this World Women's Economics Forum worldwide. Means big thanks. If you were doing a physical event, maybe so many people would have not been able to join us. So
True.
This pandemic and this lockdown has also made us realize that there are other ways of connecting people. And now this will become the new thing. And I personally feel this lockdown will change the whole world. We will look at our environment. We will look at our universe in a different way. We will look at Mother Earth, and we will not exploit it as much as we have done in the last so many years.
Yes.
So it's God's way of nature's way of telling me that she or he is more superior than human beings. So I think I like to spread positivity. I like to spread happiness, because as an actor, I think the most, and as a person, I think the most overrated emotion is anger. You see, so once you are angry, anger gives you a fake illusion of being important. I am angry. I got upset. I've never used two words in the last 30 years consciously. Bored and mood nahi hai.
Wow.
So I think this, whatever the philosophy of life is, you apply to everything, whether it is social media, whether it is meeting people, it makes it easier.
That's right. I think this is the attitude which makes the fans just follow you, and you have millions of followers on Twitter, and on your FB page, your mother is a rock star, isn't it?
Yes.
You're so happy that she is back and safe, and our regards to her.
Yes.
She's everybody's Dulari.
Yes. No, I'm happy that she's fine and she's at home, and she's a Corona warrior. And I'm superstitious now, but I think Dulari really rocks. She's like anybody's mother or anybody's grandmother. We stop, unfortunately, in our desperate attempt to move on in life and walking fast nowhere. We have stopped putting importance to these gems who are in our own homes. Means I have, in my conversation of 10 minutes, I think quoted my grandfather and father 5 times. So that means whatever richness that I got, the major portion thanks to my grandfather, grandmother, the stories of Ramayana, the story of Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, they all came from there. So my mom is a rock star because millions of people identify with her because they have a rock star in their own homes.
That's right. Oh, wonderful. I think it's sharings like these that make your fans feel close to you, as do we after this lovely chat. Well, thank you so much, Anupam. And our Women Economic Forum would like to recognize the impact that you've made in the world. And so it's over to you, Mansi, to do the honors. Mansi, are you there?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you so much, Anupam, for taking out precious moments from your busy routine. And really, you're so accessible, your generosity of spirit.
No, I was desperate for this call. I have nothing else to do. Since morning, I'm waiting for it. And Suchitra was worried, nervous.
It's
So
not
let me
what
not
we
pretend.
read in the tabloid.
It's a business they want to write. I'm happy to be talking, and it's an important. It gives me, this forum gives me a sense of importance that I spoke at Women's Economic Forum.
Of course. And 150 countries, women are just watching at this moment.
Oh,
yeah, we have 50 countries that are plugged in right now. Over 400 speakers. So it's, this whole technology, this weekend has been a celebration of technology. We're rebooting, resetting, re-energizing as our theme for the conference as well. So I think you are a celebration of that re-energization that, our world needs for, the coming tomorrow, which is fast becoming today. So we'd like to thank you so much for the person that you are, the actor that you are, the author that you are, but most importantly, the human, the humanitarian that you are, and the work that you continue to do and change and uplift lives.
Thank you.
In thousands and millions. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you so much.
We have a little token of our gratitude and affection we'd like to present to you on behalf of the All Ladies League, and awards to you in acknowledgement for the work that you do and the person that you are. We call it the Leader of the Decade in Cinema and Humanitarianism. Please accept this award on the Digital Summit, the Global Digital Summit at the Women Economic Forum, presented to the one and only Anupam Kher.
I feel honored and I feel privileged and I feel humbled. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Anupam, it will reach you soon. And till then, the show has to go on. So
Yes, of course. Please carry on, and good luck, and well done, ladies. Well done.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for joining in my fire chat.
As well.
And Anupam, keep the flame burning and keep reinventing yourself, because we love it.
Absolutely. Wishing you health and blessings all the way from the sisters here. Thank you.
All the best. Take care. Lots of love. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anupam.
That is a wrap from me. And thank you. And it's back.
Thank you. Really appreciate Suchitra as well. Thank you. Suchitra, ladies and gentlemen, have you know, she's the epitome of grace in womanhood, in a human. So really, every time you cross paths with her, you feel dissolved in her graceful presence. Suchitra, thank you so much for all that you do and for who you are. Really, thank you so much for this beautiful conversation with Anupam today.
Thank you, Anu. Thank you, dear. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. We have our speakers for the next session that we were hoping to continue to roll. I'd like to welcome, as a part of this conversation, we're unraveling inclusion as the key differentiator in manufacturing. So it's really a very relevant conversation, especially in the times that we find ourselves navigating in deep waters sometimes, but the experts are here to really rescue us and enlighten us. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome our speakers. I'd like to start with our moderator for this session, welcoming Dr. Rajni Sriraman. She's a strategist, thought leader, and entrepreneur, innovator, and the Vice President, HR and Admin at SK Design and Structures. Also a senior psychologist and a human resource leader with over 2 decades of experience. Pleasure to have you here, and thank you for offering to moderate this session. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you, Mansi. Thank you.
I'd like to welcome the co-panelists for the session. Warm welcome to you, Mr. Rajiv Batra. You're mute. Wonderful.
Yeah, thank you so much. Looking forward.
Welcoming you, Mr. Rajiv. Mr. Rajiv is the Chief Financial Officer at Cummins India.
Hello.
Welcoming you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome Sundar Ramachandran.
Okay.
Thank you for taking the time to be with us for this pertinent conversation this afternoon, wherever in the world we find ourselves. Mr. Sundar Ramachandran is the General Manager IT for Tata Elxsi, prominent position. As you see, we have the industry leaders here. And Dr. Rajni, is Vanita joining us as well?
Vanita is joining. She has a problem, like getting in as a speaker. I think she needs some help.
Perfect. I'll phone somebody to let her in. But in the meantime, could I request you to
Sure. Yes.
get the ball rolling?
Yes. By the way, Sundar is the head of plant operations from Caterpillar. I think there was a wrong reference.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think in my notes there's a mistake. Okay, we'll have to update that on the website as well.
Yes. So
I apologize.
Thank you, Sundar. Thank you, Mr. Rajiv. And thank you, Mansi, for this warm welcome. And I think it's a fantastic opportunity. WEF has offered this particular plenary to talk about manufacturing, the diversity part of it and the inclusion part of it, and how that could be a key differentiator and contribute to the bottom line for these industries which are into manufacturing. So I would like to start with, a very small phrase which says the United Nations came up with this fantastic phrase, all for equal. They said this year they declared the United Nations, the Women's Day, the theme as all for equal. I would like to kickstart on that, and I would like to ask the plenary members, the leaders who are part of this panel today, as to what it means to them, what all for equal means to each one of you. Before we set the ball rolling, and as the other speakers are coming in, we could start with Mr. Rajiv Batra on what it means to him, or as the theme goes.
Thank you, Rajni. Well, first of all, let me assure you that at home, we're totally outnumbered, right? A male member, and it's my wife and my daughter who call the shots. I don't matter. So that's how important women are at home. And when I go to the workplace, based on the philosophy of our company, we've taken some major moves of ensuring that women are 50% in the workforce, in the population, and therefore that is the entitlement 50% in the workforce as well. So that's kind of commons the philosophy worldwide and the philosophy which we brought into India, right? So certainly, once you have women in the workforce, there is a clear economic advantage that comes through, one for the economy per se, right? And if you have the same number of women in the workforce as we have the number of women as men, the economic growth rate of the US, so the huge economy, would go up by 5%. And if you look at a smaller economy like Egypt, something like 34%. So really, it's the economic advantage is also weighing in here. And later on, I would like to tell you some of the initiatives that we as a manufacturing company have taken. And really, women in the workforce, which we once thought was an impossibility, is now starting from top management, where some of our senior businesses, in fact, two of our biggest businesses, are run by women, and all the way down to the shop floor, we have representation and huge numbers. So I'll kind of hand that back to you, but I would like to cover that at some stage in the panel discussion.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Rajiv, for getting that ball rolling. And I think you gave very, very positive numbers for us to think about. And coming from a CFO, it really matters a lot to us. And thank you for kickstarting the whole thing. And over to you, Sundar. What does all for equal mean to you, Sundar? because you have worked in companies like, Simpson, you worked in companies like TVS, now you're with Caterpillar, very Indian organizations to a multinational organization. How has your view changed, and what does it mean to you right now, and how are you contributing to that as a plant head or a plant operations head?
So, first of all, thanks for this great opportunity to be with eminent leaders. So, if I have to start with something, so taking this COVID as an example, what has happened is, so the even the houses have become teams now. So, if I have to see the teams the way it goes, the teams are formed, then the teams storm between them, and then they normalize and they perform. So when we started the lockdown, you actually see that the members in the house started doing everything, and they shared the work between them, and there actually the inclusion started, and the diversity came in, the users came, and then now you see that every house who does what have really changed. So that is, I would say, a start there. And coming to Caterpillar, so as Rajiv said, we are a highly traditional company, so that more than 90 years. So the change started from the top. So the leadership recognized that one important factor which could differentiate the business is diversity and inclusion. So it started from the leadership, and there were the the traditional company always has people's coming from the bottom. That is always there. That is also there. But there were a lot of lateral talents which came in terms of views from other companies, and in terms of gender, that really gave a different perspective to see things. So that has really changed the whole format of the business, how we see things, and it also translated to the plant. So if I have to touch about our plant, one is it is a heavy engineering where attracting the gender, especially in the shop floor, is bit difficult, and also it is located in a rural area. See, because people want to take work in the urban areas today, they don't want to come to rural area. And so when we started, it was like we started with very less than, I would say, 5% or 3%, and almost nil in the working shop floor. So there are a lot of things which we did. In fact, when we started taking the first batch of people, after their experience, we made them ambassadors, and we created a video with them and tried to publish to the ITIs, we call the where we can attract from the near rural areas. So in fact, we played that to people, and then gave the confidence that they can come and work here safely, and they can really be happy about that. So that really created a change, and almost we have come to more than 30% today in terms of workforce.
Okay. So I think that is a fantastic move, and I think you have literally educated people, and that education came at the hiring stage itself. When you're picking the talent, I think you had some good stories to narrate, is what I think, where you started sharing some, beautiful clips from the people who had positive experience about working in Caterpillar. So moving to Vanita, Vanita, welcome to WEF, Vanita, and thank you once again for your time. We were starting on this UN's statement on All for Equal, which was declared for the March 8th Women's Day by the United Nations. So we were requesting the panelists to talk about what it means to them, what all for equal means to them, maybe a personal story or a professional story. So what it means to you, Vanitha, and you are the most privileged single, you are the minority here in this panel, I would say. So from that perspective, what it means to you.
Thank you for inviting me to the WEF 2020 at Bangalore. It's actually an honor to be here, and especially in the midst of all these large companies. I run a small medium company, and my journey has been quite difficult throughout, because I've always been the minority, and in the minority I meant I've always been the only lady in many forums, whether at work or at other forums, where I've actually also played quite a big role. About 5-6 years ago, I actually took over as the chairperson of the Confederation of Indian Industry, which is an industry networking platform for the entire state of Telangana. And I was a women chairperson there, in the midst of so many men who were actually lobbying to get that role. And it just sort of somehow fell into my lap. But having said that, there are a lot of seminars and conferences, and networking. An industrial networking platform means it's always going to be all men, very, very few women. And it's just in those softer domains, whether it is HR or finance, you find maybe that one or two odd lady who actually walks into those seminars and conferences to network. And I actually, when I got on board, and I tried to make it a point that we do bring in women to actually come in as speakers, because till then it was always, one always determined, the bigger the company, and definitely only have males in leadership positions. So you just call the bigger company the best speaker there and ask them to come for these conferences. But then unless a person makes those attempts to find out women, there would be few. I mean, I'm sure that the database is very, very small as compared to a database of men speakers, but it always makes sense. Somebody has to sit there and do the work, the grunge work, in trying to identify. And I'm sure we know pan India, there will be extremely good speakers who can actually come. So I thought my role in as a chairperson of CII for Telangana, I tried to bring women's perspective to every decision, to every policy recommendations that we made to the government. We always brought about the women's perspective. I remember there was this big conference on manufacturing, and I was the sole woman. And of course, because I was the chairperson, I got to speak there. But in the audience, there was just this one lady who came from one of the engineering colleges. And I'm sure probably her principal sent her and said, go scout for possible internship opportunities. So that's about what it is, for a lady to come to the manufacturing seminars. But then one statement that I actually made is that that actually caught the attention of all the other speakers. I mean, there were bureaucrats and there were politicians on the dais. And I said that unless a leader tries to look at inclusion, and here inclusion means the relevant database of people that are available to come into your company to work for you. And if we are actually not allowing women as such to enter into that forum, then we are actually doing a huge disservice to their nation. Because I always keep saying, this is my favorite line, that by actually not allowing women into the workforce, we are actually doing a disservice to the economy or to the GDP of a nation. In fact, today, if you look at Indian women, we are investing so much in trying to educate them. But then that only remains to the education. We do not invest in the career of a lady. And so I actually would be liking to work a lot on trying to create a better policy framework, which will actually enable more women to sustain at the workplace. And that is what we need to be moving towards going forward. Because I know I struggled during my 25 odd years, 2.5 decades odd time in my entire career, being the sole lady in very, very different forums. It always feels like you're actually out of place, and people view you that what is she doing here in this forum? Is it really necessary? She should be back home, maybe in the kitchen, tending to her family. But so more and more women will actually give you that strength. And see, when you're younger in age, you do get inhibited by that sort of a feeling, because unconsciously that bias does set in various forums. So of course, today at my age and stage, I really don't care if people are thinking in that manner too. So I can very vociferously say that, no, I mean, I need to be here and it's very relevant for me to be here. But I know for the upcoming generation, it is still difficult. I still see the lack of aspiration among them. They are happy to get a good, good degree or a good, academic career, and after that they just call it quits.
So you mean to say we need more people for the all for equal slogan?
Yes, we need
There's not enough. There's not enough.
Yeah, of course, we need the men to also champion us, and we need them to probably give us a little bit of a push and a little bit of a hand to pull us up. Because
in the previous organization, Manita, when I was in Pfizer, I did a long stint with Pfizer. And Pfizer as an organization, we used to have male sponsors, male leaders, sponsoring all the diversity, the gender diversity initiatives. It was.
So I actually would like to call them as male champions, because see, we don't want to get ahead of you, but no, we would like to walk shoulder to shoulder and side by side. So I think the world will be a much better place if true merit can actually determine your going forward rather than your gender.
Sure. Thank you, Manita. Thank you. Those are beautiful words. And I definitely echo those words as well. And over to Mr. Arvind Maya. And what is your take on All for Equal? If you could say that more from a Bosch perspective, the kind of initiatives you people have been taking, does it sound a bell or so? What is your take?
Okay, thanks, Rajani. First of all, I would like to thank ALL for providing this opportunity to be part of this conversation and be part of this great panel. So today's topic is inclusion. There are two words. First is inclusion and the second is in manufacturing. So let me try to touch upon both. So for me, inclusion is all about representing the minority. So, and this topic of minority or majority, it will come when there is a diversity. So it becomes paramount importance for an organization to define, first of all, what is diversity. So it could be, let us say, functional diversity. So like, for example, it could be research and development or sales and marketing or manufacturing, or it could be costing and accounting. Or if you specifically talk about manufacturing, it could be, let's say, core manufacturing, or it could be processes, quality, supply chain, or it could be services. So this is one set of, let us say, diversity. Or if I talk about another set of diversity, it could be regional or international diversity. Here, basically, intercultural diversity plays an important role. So for example, in Bosch, so people are rotated across functions, across regions, and also across countries. So while I'm speaking in this forum today, so if I take, quote, my own example, so I had a chance to undergo all these at Bosch. I had moved various functions. I had moved countries in my last assignments at Bosch. And also currently I moved to Chennai region, heading this now plant Bosch Power Tools. So these diversities for me actually bring, for my definition, it brings a lot of flexibility to the organization. So there is another important diversity which I want to touch upon. It is common amongst all the other diversities so far I spoke, is the gender diversity. I think other co-panels have already spoken about it. So this is the most common topic across the organization and across the countries at this point in time. So gender diversity is applicable at all levels. So for me, let us say it be at a management level or be at operation level, or also let us say it's a skilled or unskilled associate at the grassroots level. So these are also, this gender diversity plays a major role. If I roll back up to 2014, if I take the same example of Bosch Power Tool, how many female associates were there on the shop? It is nil or very few. But I'm proud to say situation is completely reversed in the last 4 or 5 years. So currently we are all women plants. So when I say all women plants, all associates working on the lines in the manufacturing area is women workforce. So
and carrying heavy power tools,
Yes,
physically showing a lot of grit.
So it would be, for me, it would be comparatively easy to address the gender diversity at the management level. But when it comes to grassroots level, it actually comes with the two important parameters which we need to address. For example, the first is the security concerns. Let us say the family members or parents are having on their daughters going to work, because at the young age they start going to work instead of going to college. Let us say if they have to grassroots level associates, They're skilled or unskilled work, they come to the plant here for working. Or another parameter itself, the self-motivation of our people to join the stream itself.
Yes.
So how do we address this? Maybe I will give a couple of quick examples. For example, how to address the concerns of the parents. So every year we have something called Family Day, where we invite our family members of the associates. So they're invited to plant and they make interaction with the management. They also make interaction with the peers of their daughter. So they get to know the glimpse of where they are working, how they are working. It's a fun-filled day overall on that day. And then they interact with the peers of the daughter. So they exactly know what is the working environment and where their daughters are working. They come to know all these things on that day. So it gives them a good feeling when they go back. Or maybe another, let us say last year, in 2019, we have launched a program called Star Performer of the Month. So wherein it addresses both the parameters I spoke, concern, security concern from the parents, and also how to motivate our associates. What is this Star Performer is all about? Basically, our associates are given a platform. So what is their strength? They will showcase. We have a predefined parameters. Every associate has a chance to showcase their potential on the shop floor. And the winners photo will be displayed right at the entrance of the plant.
So it's not a talent show; it's a typical skill show. It's
it is related to the skill and what they'll be proud of how they entered into the board there. So besides rewarding them for their achievement, also what we are doing is their parents are invited for interaction and interaction with me, and then also a lunch with plant manager. These two things are planned. They will have a lunch along with me. I can tell you this is a great sort of an inspiration amongst all our associates to be performing at the highest level. And this initiative gives another platform for us to connect with the family at the plant. So there are many such examples.
Fantastic.
For example, yeah. So
finally, I think I learned something very, very interesting today, more from a human resources perspective. Is it's just not always a talent show. It can also be a skill or a competence or a capability. Celebration to call it. It's a very new thought. Thank you, Arvind. Thank you so much for talking about the initiatives of Bosch and being a pioneer at that. Keeping the plant 100% women-run shop floor kind of setup. That's a great news, and all of us were giving you a big round of applause for that. Thank you. Now going back to Mr. Rajiv, and I used to be part of a number of women networking, units or departments or initiatives, you may call it, and I was leading a couple of global networks as such. One thing, everybody will come around and ask me is, Rajni, what's your business case for inclusion? So I was always intrigued, and I've spoken to Sundar many times about it because Sundar is my good friend as well. For many years, I know him, and he's a business guy. So I also always was to ask him, Sundar, what is this business case he's talking about? And should I make a PPT and show it to them, or what should I might take to sell this inclusion to my top leaders? So as I'm sure when I saw your profile, I know, Rajiv, that you've been leading several portfolios within the organization. Longest serving CFO of Cummins is another added feather to your cap. So from your perspective, is this business case required, or what sense does it make to top leaders, or does it make a difference in the shop floor? Please do educate us on that. I'll be interested to learn from you.
So it's much more than a business case, right? This is an essential case. And I'm just building on what Vanitha said, that, women have ambitions these days. It's not like a generation past where academic qualifications and then they disappeared from the horizon. These days, it's very common for organizations to actually advise and encourage women to take a second career and come back into the workforce. We've seen many ads which come out, and our organization also very actively encourages that. Because the economic advantages, you have invested in education, and women are keen now to come back into the workforce. And what this does, economic independence, actually empowers them. and they can really change the face of their own households. So that's kind of on a macroeconomic front. But when you step back onto your own company, now we've seen productivity actually go up. And we have lines which are all women lines.
Yeah.
So we don't encourage that, because diversity means everybody works together. But just to address your business case, where we started off from was creating specific lines. And the productivity of those lines was way higher than what we had in the past. This itself, therefore, serves as a challenge to the other lines to come back and at least meet, match, or exceed the productivity of this line, right? So that's kind of really showing you that even on a line-by-line basis, and if you look at the macro picture of the company, we've seen productivity actually has gone up. Now to Arvind's point, it's not been easy journey to get women onto the shop floor. Management-wise, fantastic. You know, when you picture IT, software, or these sort of professions, there the proliferation is great. But engineering, and that too manufacturing, is something which we thought was not possible. But today, when we look at it, there's so much keenness. And we recruit from ITIs, we recruit from diploma colleges, we recruit from engineering colleges. And the fact that when women are actually looking at who the supervisors are, 9 chances out of 10, it'll be a mix. You will have women supervisors, women employees, which gives them comfort. And as long as you invest in ergonomics, make the heavy lifting a little light, and look at the perspective that this operation should now be done by women. How can we simplify it? And then for an old company, invest in hygiene factors, and providing the security, as well as ensure that we work with the state government to ensure that the regulations are amended to ensure that women can work in the second shift safely, right? I think it's just a business case, which the returns are infinite. So we don't even look on those lines now. It just makes sense to have women on the workforce in every sphere.
Sure. Thank you, Rajiv. That was a great point. And I would like to request, Sundar to give us 2 cents. What does business case mean to you, Sundar? I know we've spoken a lot about it in the past, but given the current topic, what does it mean to you? Business case for including women in the workforce.
Sorry to interrupt. At this point, just need to let you know that we have 2 minutes to go. Would that be okay? 15
minutes late, Mansi.
Yeah, but with Anupam trying to navigate the technology, we lost a little bit of time there. So the problem is that the session will get auto cut off is the problem. I just needed to give you a heads up.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
I'll let them let's take 4 minutes.
Okay. Quickly we will talk about it. Yeah.
on the benefits, Rajani, quickly, which I wanted to give you.
Yeah. You could take 30 seconds, and I'll give Anita another 30 seconds.
So, in fact, I was given a live case of to measure the benefits in the shop floor. So when we measured attention to details on quality or following just wearing the PPEs in the shop floor or the safety SOPs, we have actually seen that there is a tangible benefit in terms of the product quality or the safety parameters, which has really improved the business. I'm not able to elaborate due to time, but there is a live case. I have got the benefits recorded and presented and validated, and also to the balance sheet, I would say, contribution. So this is in short on what benefits I have.
Thank you, Sundar. Vanita, what about you?
So a lot of the hidden costs, I know from a finance angle, people will be looking at the short-term costs in terms of the additional maternity benefits and additional payouts that one would have to actually do if a lady comes on board. But what I would suggest is don't look at the short term, but look at the long term, because you have a person, you have an employee for life. And the loyalty factor among women is much, much, much more higher. In my own organization, I run a 60-year-old organization. I know that for a fact. There were women who came in when they were very young, then they stayed back, they got married, they had children, they continued, they took their maternity leaves, they went ahead, their children grew up, they got married, they became grandmothers, and yet they continue to work for us.
So still we have a strong business case there.
Yes, yes. I always vouch that the business case is always positive.
Sure. Thank you, Anita. And Arvind, what about you, Arvind? What do you think as a business case?
Yeah, Rajani. Basically, I would say the productivity is at its best. So basically, if you compare all over the world, so we stand number one in the productivity in the whole of Bosch Power Tools. And to top it up, yeah, I think we won a #1 plant award in all over the Bosch plant for 3 successive times.
Wow. Okay.
So
that's
all
a
credit,
very, very strong business case again.
Yeah,
They won't give you, yeah, I'm sure they won't give you an award without the numbers there, you know.
Yes,
Staring
yes.
at them, you know.
Yes, all credit goes to my daughters.
Sure,
Daughters on
fantastic.
the floor, yeah.
Fantastic. That is very nice, a family feeling. Yeah. Thank you, Arvind. And to the last, if I can take a minute more, Mansi,
yes,
to just
please.
wind up, because I don't want to miss the great panel who's available here.
Absolutely.
So just, you know, if each one of you can take 30 seconds or 15 seconds and tell us about, you know, what is your advice to the business leaders? You know, that one thing that you would like the business leaders to do to make a difference and make inclusion a differentiator in the manufacturing industry. That will be a great takeaway for today's panel.
Yes.
It's the DNA of the organization, right? And the DNA, once it changes, it's ingrained amongst us all. So really, it's value. So I would just encourage that value.
Sure. Anita?
Yeah, I would say walk the talk. Leaders should walk the talk, and they should exhibit it, and only then will people follow. Role models. You become a role model, you have other company leaders who will follow suit. So I think that is what we need to do.
Fantastic. Sundar?
I think men should take initiative to remove the biases and demonstrate, as Vanita or somebody said, walk the talk. I think we have to bring women in the leadership levels, and somebody should replace us. So that we should take that commitment and pride.
Sure. And Arvind?
Yeah, I think we should support the needy. So needy people, when they are in need of something, how do we support them? And then how to create the inspiration and aspiration among the people. So, and how from the poor girls, let us say they are having a difficulty from the village when they come up. So 2 girls in 4 years reaching the management staff from temporary staff to a management level, the great sort of inspiration. So how do we build, instill the inspiration in these people? I think this is all, as a leader, we should look at it so that it supports the needy.
Fantastic. I think, you know, I'm going to sleep. I'm going to have a sound sleep today because, you know, I've got so many points I've taken it down, and a lot of initiatives to be done even at my own organizational level. Thank you, leaders, for your time. And it was fantastic listening to each one of your points. True food for thought, I would say. Thank you so much. And Mansi, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I apologize.
Thank you.
Taking away.
Yeah.
Sorry, please stay on for just a few more seconds. I want to thank each one of you, you know, with profound gratitude for taking out the time from your schedules and really creating this insightfulness in your conversation, in your discussion, and sharing so open-heartedly. Dr. Rajni, thank you for, you know, beautiful moderation and really bringing out the best in each one of the panelists. So thank you for that. We'd like to present to you awards. They're virtual awards that we're doing for the very first time. So on behalf of the All Ladies League, we'd like to present to each one of the distinguished panelists here the award, which we title as the Exceptional Leaders of Excellence in recognition of the body of work that you do and the leadership that you represent. So we congratulate you and thank you so much for your time and for the work that you do.
So they will be getting their soft copies, Mansi?
So the virtual award will come as a soft copy in your mailbox soon. Yes. Yeah, this is exactly what we're doing. We're celebrating, you know, the world how it looks tomorrow. So this is
celebrating the so-called new normal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank
So
you so much.
this is great honor for us. Thank
Yes,
you.
a great honor.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, everyone. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Vanita, Dr. Rajni.